kudo la kama, which is very normal. Which is very normal. Very, very normal. But you and I know somewhere. But Madrasa, in terms of whether the president talks about, Madrasa education at that platform or not, the president's in the institutions that he led are doing a lot in terms of Madrasa education. Some of the issues that you've raised have been addressed by policies. I can assure you, have been addressed by policy. Minister of Higher Education is picking this up. In fact, prior to joining the government, I was Magdon Legacy Civil Society. We developed the Madrasa curriculum. It started, MOPSI, St. Credit Unit B. I participated in that. We spent 5 good days in Pakalindi to develop the Madrasa curriculum. I took part in that. In fact, I worked greatly on the area of child protection aspect of it. So higher education now is building up, and government is trying very hard to to incorporate this so that suñ xalé ñi nga xamné ñu ngi janga madrasa suñ paré dinañ mëna janga anglais ak because the vision of the president is that come the way it is structured moy so paré yow da nga wara dem nek oustaz wala da nga wara at least so si paré independently you should be able to make a decision. But again, also, even before coming into this government, we have seen a huge, a transition. I remember Talindi Mahad, then their schedules were flexible. I was born and raised in Talindi. The schedule was so flexible to give those Arabic students the opportunity to go to, conventional school. Mota Talindi Arabic school, by the time they complete Mahad, they almost far in their education. So, but today, as we speak today, higher education and MOPSI have taken up measures. And inshallah, some of the things that you've said is what the policy seeks to address. But you can do further research about this. The other issue is agriculture. Comme Numko Wahere, like he referred to it as shameful. But I'm saying the government provides the policy framework. Manam Ngurbi, ñom lu ñoo def moy dañoo xalal yoon bi, and then the citizens will be inspired to venture. But let me say this: once the government takes the lead in it's seen not to be fashionable. I remember when the army made a statement that they are venturing into agriculture. That was a public outcry. Some people from the civil society here and there knew race, and that was some of the things. What it could have done more, we would have gotten battalions within the army, they would be venturing into agriculture. Today, if you go within the army, around URR, the military around that end, they have been supported by the Minister of Agriculture and the President himself to take $1 and leka. I've been to their farm, their rice farm. I've been to their rice farm. And good number of them are doing that today. And that's why even today, the president handed over, brand new tractors to the military. They are doing that. But I'm saying, the Minister of Agriculture has been very strategic of recent. And they open up the window pour ñi nga xamne dañ bëgg venture into agriculture. Ñu mëna am the opportunity. And all aspects of agriculture for that matter. Poultry, you name them. And that's why you have all those projects under, agriculture. As recent as, a week before Ramadan, myself and the Minister of Agriculture, we were in Sierra, where the private sector is being supported. Ordinarily, the private sector, they have to struggle on their own to get into it. But the government is supporting the private sector, to come into agriculture. Because then these are viable partners. Because Ngurbi is not their primary function to do so. But I cited the example of military when they announced that they are getting into agriculture. That was public outcry there. People did not even rationalize it. And I said, sometimes we are very emotional with the things that we talked about. Right. Now, poor Garal, corruption. You see, there are certain issues within the government setting. It's not the office of the president alone that is charged with the responsibility of some of it. I'm not running away from responsibility, and I'm not saying the president is running away from responsibility. We're saying some of the things that they call corruption, the evidence do not exist to prosecute, or some of them are already ongoing, but people felt the process is so slow, and the way they portray is that nothing is happening. But the president is very concerned about corruption. And that is why Diego Yangfa to talk about the anti-corruption bill and so forth. But sometimes I know these are things that the people are very impatient with. And in fact, the president and every other person that works within the government are very impatient with. But the processes have to be allowed to proceed. I'm not saying I know ngur dohal ko processes they slow, but again, you know, corruption is one of those things, and that's why Parliament, you know, some of the things they have been referred to the police. Sometimes police then you investigate. Soon you send the file to Attorney General's chambers for opinion. These are processes because it's very tricky and it's a very complex issue. But like I said, sometimes I'm patiently. But the reality is that the police have announced some time ago the number of cases that they are investigated. But sometimes they investigate when you soon you only file to the Attorney General's chambers for legal advice. But you want to put anything before the court because you don't also doing the Hagi is corrupt. The next minute you expect the police. Gambians, that's how they want things to happen. Lamin Saidy is corrupt. You want the police to pick me up, and then it doesn't work that way. There are processes involved. No, listen, I'm not allowing you. There are processes involved. It's my time in court. Let me use it. There are processes involved, and the reality is that, Mr. Boja, the processes may be slow, but as a government, we are assuring you and every other citizen, the president is very serious about corruption. I know sometimes when people talk about this thing, they said, for example, President Wahonafi, ne audit reports are opinion. But that's also true. Audit findings in itself cannot indict a person. It can trigger investigation. Sakura, you're here, I'm not an economics, but that's the truth. But everybody was like, when the president said, I'm not your hamne, you know, then they just summon. Gambians as Ninga Hamne, they have no idea about what happens across the globe. You know, the president speaks on facts. And again also, listen,
you have been misleading the Gambians. We have just been patient with you.
No, you are not patient. You are not patient. Listen,
the president was still saying facts.
You are not patient.
Because Mbogoko is not a democracy like Gambia.
What do you mean democracy?
Saudi Arabia is not having
listen.
So if you tell it's not the same system.
No, we are talking about the government.
No, it's not the same system.
We are talking about the government.
Governance is different.
We are talking about the government.
The Saudi way of doing things and our way of doing things is different.
No.
So Gambians are saying, when it comes to the democracy like that of the Gambia, name me a country that does that.
Listen.
So you cannot say Gambians don't know. We know.
No. But no.
You cannot be in Saudi Arabia and with Gambia.
What we said, the president said, it happens this way. He doesn't say whether it's a democracy.
But that's poor communication from a leader. That's poor communication.
Who determines a poor communication?
Of course, the one listening.
No, well, you make that. No, it may be applicable.
No, it's not.
It may be applicable, Mr. Kura.
No. In fact,
as an executive, you may decide
the Gambia is not a theocracy.
Listen.
You are not a theocracy,
my brother.
So listen, come on.
In terms of government, the president has the primary duty to maintain peace and stability in this country. And where it is felt to be threatened, he can institute measures.
Mr. Boja.
Listen, Mr. Boja, what I mean is, some would require parliamentary intervention, some may just require an executive order, and it will be executed.
The same executive order could have been used in the cases of corruption.
No, listen.
Absolutely.
What do you want me? You are alleged of corruption. I said go and arrest him.
No, you said the president can use executive order.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I said it could also be used in the case of corruption.
I'm saying you said
DPA is an example. Everything is done. But the Ministry of Justice decided to tell the police that, come on, we don't recommend prosecution. See how these people pay back.
What I even want to ask
so what are you telling?
Listen. What I even want to ask you is, Mr. Saidy, let's not limit the time a bit.
No, you cannot limit me.
No, we will limit it because this is not the only topic we're talking about.
Let me address this matter first, please. I'll get to you. I'll have the patience to listen to you.
No problem.
Mr. Boya.
But the time
You don't control the time. There is a person controlling
No, we
the
are
time.
panelists here. The time is
But
in our hand too.
You are
We have other topics that are very important too.
Listen, let me educate you. You are
No, you can't educate me. That's
panelist.
Baro, you are
I
not
guessed,
me. No.
And he's the moderator of the
No, you
program.
can't educate me. Baro.
So let me say this. Mr. Boya. Mr.
But
Boya,
they will give us 2 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Just finish, please.
Mr. Boya, on this matter, I'm saying, for example, the government puts in measures that are feasible. Kura talked about the feasibility. The Minister of Justice is the chief body responsible for advising the government on matters of, laws and others. You may question some of the measures that they put in place to say A, B, and C. And if, for example, that is what is true, I was not privileged really